So he came home like September 22nd or September 27th, or it was the 29th, one of the two. It's like a Friday before that Monday. So anyway, so we had him home, and the first night was great. Every night was great. And then it hit 1 week.
Yep.
And that's where everything changed.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, you tell it, because you were.
It was during, October baseball season was going on, and we was watching the playoff game, and we were watching it, and we both fell asleep, and I was just like, first snap with him in bed, cool, and then I woke up, he was still asleep, and then he started yawning, moving. I was like, oh, you up, fat man? And he was looking at me. And then I was like, oh, well, the game was almost over. You missed it. So after a while, he started drifting off. And I was like, oh, you must still be tired. But then looked at him a little closer, and, he started drooling. And I'm just like, that's not you. That doesn't seem like something he would do it. He never did it. So called her to bring me the suction, just, suction his mouth out. And once she came in, I was like, yeah, babe, take him. And then right before, she took him, his head kind of just started to fall.
No, like, literally, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, he was like, babe, get the suction. And I'm like, okay. So I go in, and I'm like, he's on the bed, and I'm just like, okay, I'm about to suction his mouth. And then I just looked at him. Like, I was just like, oh wait, give me him. Like, something is not right. I was like, CJ, I don't know what made me just call something about him just wasn't right. We know our son.
Yeah.
Regardless of if he was with us or not, we knew him, and we knew exactly what he liked, what he did not like. We were still telling him, NICU nurses, like, hey, okay, he likes this, he doesn't like this. Like, we were very in tune with him, even though he wasn't there physically with us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even though we was at the NICU about 20 hours a day. We had to sleep and eat something. So, but anyway, so we knew him. So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, what? I'm like, CJ. And he just didn't look normal. And I'm like, CJ. And I'm like, oh my God. I run to the living room because I'm thinking that that's where his oxygen is. Let me just rewind. When he came home, they sent us with the suction. They sent us with oxygen. They sent us with a lot of stuff. They sent us with a lot of stuff home, okay? And so we had a lot of supplies there that could save his life, okay? But the thing about it is, I went to the living room thinking that the oxygen was in there. When I said CJ, and I put him this way on my arm. I had him like this, and I put him this way on my arm when I was in the living room. His head was like, I was like, babe, call 911. Call 911. He's like, are you serious? I'm like, seriously, I'm not playing. Call 911. Call 911. Yep. So I ran to the living room. I was in the living room. Oxygen wasn't there. His head dropped. I'm like, call 911. I come in here because I forgot his oxygen was in here. We did not have the oxygen set up. We did not take his life for a joke or anything like that. Like, we did not expect for him to stop breathing on us. So we did not have the oxygen set up. Everything else we were like super on point with, but we just didn't think that we would ever need oxygen. Like, for what? He can breathe. He was always breathing at 21%. That's 21% oxygen is room air, okay? So he was always breathing like you and me, okay? He was always breathing like that. So we were just like, we're not gonna need the oxygen, but if we do, we're obviously not gonna deny it. We're gonna keep it in the house. So we did not have the oxygen set up. I tell him to call 911. I came into this room. I laid him on this floor right here, and I proceeded to do CPR. I started doing CPR. I was going crazy. I'm like, and he's on the phone with 911 immediately, and she's asking us so many questions, and I'm like, babe, set up the oxygen. He's setting up the oxygen while I'm on the phone with this lady, and she is asking absurd questions. When did he stop breathing? How long has he not been breathing? Yep. All you need to know is my son is not breathing. Yep. Please send help. Like, are you serious? You think that we're going to literally answer 45 questions while trying to save my son's life at 4 months? We're not gonna. I was getting so upset. I said, ma'am, we cannot answer all these questions. Please help our son. Ma'am, calm down, like they always do. Calm down. I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is not gonna help. So We're gonna answer the questions, but we have to set up the oxygen. So I'm giving him CPR. He is blue. He is blue. He is blue.
Yep.
He is blue. He is blue. And he is so blue. And his lips were just like, his lips were dry and pale.
Stuck.
And I'm giving him CPR. And I'm just like, man, after all we've been through, I swear to God, bro, you're not dying on us. After all we've been through, well, you're not dying on us, not on my watch. I'm giving him CPR, and Cameron is setting up the oxygen, and then he's getting it, but I'm just like, okay, I want to make sure it's on the right settings. So I'm like, babe, come on. He's just like, all right. He drops the phone. He starts to give him CPR. I'm setting up the rest of the oxygen, and then I go back to giving him CPR, and he goes, and he like spits up something. I'm like, oh my goodness. Woo! Okay, I'm continuing to give him CPR. Cameron's like, don't stop. I'm like, I'm not. I swear I'm not. So I'm giving him CPR. We put the mask on him once we see that he is getting a good breathing flow. We put the breathing mask on him. We have it to 1.5 liters. It's like what his oxygen is supposed to be on. And so we give it to him. We have a little baby mask or whatever. So we give it to him, and bam, paramedics show up. Cammie is in the room on her iPad. I'm just like, oh my goodness. I just closed the door because obviously this is a scary situation for us. So I didn't want Cammie to have to see any of it because that's scary. Like, I don't want her to know what's going on. And so and so they came in here, they rushed, they had their machine on him, they put their oxygen on him, they got him up. My baby pooped on himself. He was just like looking dead in the looking dead in the looking dead in the like sky, like out, like, you know, he was just like his eyes were just open, like there's just a blank stare. And so what I was saying was he was looking dead in the to the wall. Stuck, exactly. Stuck dead into the wall, like looking dead into the, like, just whatever object he was focused on, he was looking into it, like. And I'm just like, what the heck? So we're just like, okay. So the ambulance is here. They put him in his car seat. We go. He gets Cammie, and he's in the back. I'm in the ambulance with him, and we're just like, what? And then we get to the hospital. He is driving behind us. We get to the hospital, and we they're doing, you know, the normal stuff to him, checking his pulse and everything like that, and putting him on a breathing machine, and like a oxygen machine, and just like having oxygen like blow by on his face so that he can continue to have some oxygen flowing, oxygen circulation. And so oxygen circulating, I mean. And then so what happened was, we were there and they were just like, so what happened? And we had to tell them what happened. He was in the front with Cammie because we couldn't leave her, so I was in the back with them. I told them what happened, and they just could not figure it out. Why, you know, was it this, was it that, was it that? I'm just like, no, it was nothing. It happened out of nowhere. It happened out of nowhere. And so they had to put the breathing tube back in. And so when first of all, when putting the breathing tube back in, let's not forget that he had his esophageal repair surgery no more than 4 weeks ago. So the fact that he had to get another breathing tube put back in was very high risk. It was super high risk. It can compromise his esophagus. It can cause so many complications. And so we were already so nervous about that, but that was the only way that they were going to be able to transport him to the NICU. And also, he was having seizures. Multiple seizures. And it wasn't seizures like, you know, there's different types of seizures. So he was having seizures where he would just stare blank into space. And then he'll come back. And then he'll stare blank into space and he'll come back. And then he'll desat. It's called a Brady. where your oxygen decreases, your heart rate decreases at the same time. That's called a Brady. So, you know, that was happening as well. So it was just a traumatic situation.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to lose him. And that feeling is something that is
straight to the gut, and you
can't describe that.
You just become numb, and it's just like you don't really, the living in the moment.
But you're not there.
Yeah.
It's like an outer body experience. But as parents, it's very difficult to go through something like that. To not know whether you're going to wake up with your child or not, that's scary.
Yeah.
That's so scary. So then we were back at the NICU.